go back to sleep, please. You're scaring me. Please don't stop. Please just stop.
Come on, that's too scary. He scares me too much. You both. Oh my God, Amy, what's the matter? I've just had a nightmare. What's it about? Tell us. Are you alright? I got rushed into hospital. There was all these doctors around me. And they started operating. Are you alright? They were sticking needles in my neck. Oh my God. I can feel it still. I've got to get you some water. I can still feel it.
With the female parts, with the girls, we had a lot of people came along to audition, which is very much the norm in this sort of current day and age. Girls are much more into doing the drama and that sort of thing. So we had quite a good pick, and there was a good selection, and I think we managed to pick very well for those. As far as the lads were concerned, Ryan stood out very much at the auditions, and we almost sort of saw him and thought, yeah, we'd like him.
Loads of blood and x-rays, but I got...
And we then didn't really have anybody, and we held a second audition where Liam and a couple of other students from the school and other people were invited along. And Liam, he'll probably won't forgive me for saying it, but Liam can be a bit of a handful. And I taught him, and I said, come along, give it a go. And he did, and he was actually remarkably good. I mean, the key that sold him to us was actually directing him. We gave him a line to deliver, and then we said, right, I'd like you to deliver it in a different way. And he actually put a lot of effort in and delivered it incredibly well. And I think some of the scenes that we've got from him in the film show that he has got quite a bit of talent if he wants to use it.
I felt really good with myself because quite a lot of people auditioned and I got one of 5 parts, so that's pretty good.
I have to go back on Thursday for the results of the test. I took loads of blood and x-rays. I had to stay overnight.
My name is Ryan, and I played Josh.
My name's Amy, and the character I play is Sophie. My name is Kaylee, and I played Emma.
My name's Liam Dawson and the character I play is Tommy.
My name's Gemma and I play Jessica.
The environment for making films has changed dramatically over the years. I started probably about 20 years ago, and there wasn't a lot of video cameras around. There was a lot of amateur cine clubs and things like that, but there weren't many video clubs around, which is sort of why Channel 7 started.
I think in terms of the argument between production quality and storytelling quality, that we tend to get the storytelling is all written well in advance. And yes, we do consider the production while we're writing it and thinking about what can't we do, but we try to sort of focus on one aspect at a time. So once we've got the storyline, once we've got the script written, we'll then start working about how we're going to produce it, and all our energies are devoted to that. So really, I'd say they're sort of fairly evenly matched.
I often find myself saying to Darren, and what's going on here? And what's the action? You have to plan. It's not as critical as getting the right shot because you have more latitude in where you can place the microphone, etc., when you're capturing sound than you are when you're capturing the image. But you need to understand how the action is going to happen and what the movements are and who's speaking, etc., to make sure you can pick up the sound in the way that you want to. And generally speaking, that's from the perspective of the camera.
I think what I enjoy about filmmaking is the creative side of things, where you start writing a script and you convert it into sort of reality, as it were. So you develop these characters on the page, and then you see them through to the finished film, and it's quite good creating those scenarios and things, and watching those actors play out those parts.
They all had their parts, and I think probably it would have to be the operating room, because when we first walked into the room we thought, how are we going to do it? But then when we came to film it with all the extra bits and pieces that Paul brought along, and he made an incredible light contraption, it just felt and looked really good.
My favourite scene to act in was probably the scene at Burwell House. We were at Burwell House when we were filming there. We just got to mess around all day, really, and then we had a barbecue afterwards, which was awesome.
The corridor scenes with Amy and Kaylee, and we had to act as we were scared.
Burwell, I think. One of the Burwell scenes where we did loads of jumping and that.
The one where we climbed through the window, because it was fun.
My favourite scene to act was when we were breaking in over at Boston.
I'd have to say it's those little moments that when you're watching somebody acting and you just see a glimmer of sheer brilliance, and you're blown away by a particular scene. It might be one take, and you think, that really worked so well, and it's just because the actor, the script and everything all comes together just perfectly. Sometimes it only happens once, and unfortunately sometimes it might not even be that shot that can be used, but you do see it, and I think that's what it's all about for me, and obviously for everybody, the final finished product and the audience sitting and watching it. It's a conversation Darren and I have been having for years about people having chips implanted in them for financial reasons, and we played with lots of different ideas. And I think one of our earliest one was, I think we could call it something crazy like Oliver with a Twist, and set Oliver Twist in the future, with people having chips implanted in their hands and people chopping hands off, and we sort of seemed to move forward from that, which was a little bit over-ambitious, to the production that we came up with. I'm going to put the blood in, then you go after Darren counts you in.
Right, okay.
Can you do the counting, Darren?
So it's going to be you. Oh, sorry. Inject.
I think the longest part of the filmmaking process is probably the post-production and the pre-production. So the filming bit is probably the least amount of time. But there's a lot that goes into the planning, and there's a lot of editing that happens at the end.
They were very good directors, and they helped us helped us do our job right. And
The editing usually takes around 2 or 3 months to do, and on average it takes about 2 or 3 hours to complete about a minute's worth of the film.
Lindsay, yes? Oh.
Well, that way.
Okay.
I'm just listening. Just grab her.
No! No! I'm scared. What's he going to do?
3.
You find you spend, it's the usual sort of 5%, 95% issue. You spend 95% of the time on the 5% where you didn't get a good sound take in the first place. That's why it's so important to listen to the sound when you're recording it, and also play it back after you just recorded it to make sure you've got something worth having. Otherwise you can spend ages and ages trying to paper over the cracks, as I put it.
Then, starting with Emma, what do you remember from your dream?
I liked my co-stars. I think Ryan was one of the best because he was like up for a laugh and everything.
You're going to watch it, and you're going to say...
How can we watch it if we're doing it?
Don't snort!
Okay, ready?
And... action.
Are you not coming to watch football training after school? What did I say?
I don't think we did in this one, except really that the technology, there is I think both Darren and I believe there is a hidden danger within the technology and the way things are moving forward. And actually, there's probably a lot of technology being used nowadays that nobody is aware of, and it's going to become more and more prevalent in our lives. So as a moral, I guess, keep your eye out for that.
Well, at the experience, I think it's given me an insight on how films have been made, and I think it's developed my acting quite a lot over the whole experience.
I don't know. I like stage acting because you can improvise and stuff, but it's good to do filming because it's like they're like two different things, so they're different. So I don't really know what I prefer.
Keep pressing it, and then watch something will come out. Keep going. Now keep going. See that? What comes out is one of these things, and then when it pulls out, a little wire. That's so good. Hospital, having an operation, and I could feel everything that was being done.
Yeah, at first I was a bit scared because I thought I wouldn't get on with them, but now I think we've got really close and it's made new friends.
I think it's very difficult to say at this stage how good the film is going to turn out or how it compares to other films, because I haven't yet finished all the editing and had the music put to it and things. So throughout the process, your perspective on how it's going to turn out it changes. So at the beginning you think, oh, this is going to be really good, the script's really good. Then you start rehearsing and you get your characters and you're quite pleased with them. And then you start to do a few rehearsals and it starts to progress. And then after a few rehearsals, it kind of, you think, no, this isn't working very well. And then you start filming and it's not too bad. And it just sort of flip-flops all the time. I think this has been quite a big challenge, having a main cast of 5. And that's made it quite difficult to actually film, because every sort of scene with 5 characters needs at least 5 close-ups usually. Medium distance, so that extends the filming time, and it's been quite complicated with the different locations and scenarios and things that we've had. So again, it's probably very difficult to tell, but I'd say probably not our best work, but not too bad either.
I think we're getting a lot slicker in the ways we work. And I'm expecting to sort of look at a very polished film at the end of it. We're still stuck that we can't see the wood for the trees. We've worked so hard and we're so engrossed in it. I don't know how good it's going to be. My gut feeling is we've done better, but it's just too early. I'm hoping I'll be pleasantly surprised and it will blow everybody away.